Tom Brandt? Big overtime win for Sam.
Yeah, it was, I mean, that's what we got to do. Tough matches like that. His conditioning has clearly made strides. And if he could do what he did against Marsden, that Oklahoma State match, if he could do that for 7 minutes, then we're going to have a good heavyweight. And he did that for the better part of 7 minutes. And he can still continue to make improvement because that's what he's about. But definitely it's going to help him when he's going to the body like that. Just a good, solid, patient match against a guy that, you know, they really like that guy. He's 5 or 6 ranked.
You mentioned before that Rutgers is underranked. Did you see that from you today?
What's that?
You mentioned before that Rutgers is underranked in your opinion.
You know, it's one of those things where, you know, first of all, they believe in their team, and, you know, we didn't wrestle well last week, and, you know, they had a big win over Cornell, and there was a lot of chatter. And so, you know, I think they were out of the top 10, but I thought maybe they should be in the top 10. And that's pretty much what was going through my head when I made that statement. The biggest thing is position. You got to keep getting better in position. The way Edwin Cooper's riding on one side, he can switch, get to the other side. Virak finishing single leg. Sam Brooks being more ready, and if he does end up with a guy that can throw both legs, then you got to be able to wrestle out of that and into your positions where you can score. You got slowed down there. Did a good job in the third period getting that takedown because I don't know how much he had left in the gas tank, and that's important. When you don't get ready, that's what happens. You know, your gas tank starts to get away from you, but you know, you got to take your hat off to him too. So we just got to get better in positions.
Cooper's been close against some ranked opponents here lately, and today he kind of got over that hump. What's his?
I give Edwin Cooper a lot of credit, and the only thing I would say is now we got to build leads. We don't have to, you know, eke it out right at the end of 1-point victory, let the clock run out or whatever. And you know, and one thing that he's doing better is when guys get to his legs, they're not going right to the ceiling, but the shot that the guy scored on, the leg went right to the ceiling, and it's too easy. And we got to get our legs back because he's long and he's strong when he gets his legs back. And that's coming from his partners. That's coming from his coaches and his workout partners. So, you know, he fell asleep there a little bit on the edge of the mat over there by that dance team.
Tom, Gilman seems to have found even an extra gear that maybe he didn't have a year ago. What are you seeing now versus?
Just understanding more about like a ready state of mind and how do I get or keep my motor running if a guy's trying to slow me down. I got more than just one tool. You know, he's been criticized for being very one-dimensional, and you know he can snap and score. He can sprawl and knock you out on your shot and score, and he can go to his shots and score, and he can come up and score. He can get to the corner and score, and you know there's just a lot of scoring opportunities that he creates for himself because he's not hesitating as much and not one-dimensional as much. So, you know, he's one of the guys that has gotten better in his positions, and that's what our other guys need to keep doing. You find a way to win, and I'm talking about Brooks getting better in that bottom position, but he found a way to win too. And Gilman finding a way to dominate, it's the same thing.
Gilman was talking about some of maybe the mental warfare that goes on in the locker room with him and Terry and Brooks on a daily basis.
Yeah, they got a nice little corner over there. They call it the toughest corner in the locker room, and it might be. I would say that there's other corners in the locker room that are pretty tough. You know, my corner has Gable in it, so when Gable shows up, that's a pretty tough corner. But you know, I would say that there's a lot of sparring that goes on when that corner doesn't group together and kind of take on the whole locker room. Then they're sparring amongst each other, so they're always battling. So it definitely is an edge that he's creating for himself.
Topher Carton said that you gave him the nod right before the duel. Was it something that he said to you when you asked him if he was ready, or?
Let me tell you. I'll explain that. That's private. But here's the thing. I watched both guys warm up, and we told Logan and Topher that Logan Ryan was going to go. And I said, Topher, make sure that you warm up like you're wrestling. You know what? He warmed up like he's wrestling. And that's what changed my mind. Instead of going through the motions like most guys would, knowing that he wasn't going to wrestle, he got ready to wrestle. And then had a conversation with Terry and Morningstar. They both were in agreement, and I asked him, I just said, do you want to go? And he said, I'm ready. I said, I didn't ask you that. I didn't ask you if you were ready. I asked you if you want to go. And he said, yes. It's that simple. So we're trying some things here. Both guys will be in Midlands at 141. And, 141 and 165, we got to figure that out.
Just growth is on track for Midlands?
Growth is looking good, yeah. And now you can ask me a question about going 141, and it looking like he's doing a good job that way. So we're seeing that come around, and we'll see where he's at Midlands-wise. We're not going to jump the gun and get impatient with throwing him out there. We're going to make sure we do it right. But as far as, wanting to answer the question what weight he's going, he's doing a good job going that way. But as far as, whether it's after the new year or not, we got to be really smart.
What did Carton show you tonight?
He showed me that, you can wrestle maybe a little more relaxed when he gave up the 4 near fall, maybe. I don't know. He was getting off the guy's shot a little bit, took a little bit out of him with a tough ride. Maybe that had something to do with it. But early on, just how he fell down, you can't fall down like that. I mean, that's 6 points. He fell down, gave up the takedown, then gave up the wrist hill. And, you got to contest that. What if he contests that shot? That takes a little bit out of that guy. And that guy, he was fired up. I mean, he wanted to take on our whole bench, the way he was looking at us. And so, that's a challenge. You got a guy that, he wants to take on the whole bench. You got a job to do. And I think Topher relaxed a little bit. And then when he stopped him a couple times, I think he gained a little confidence. So, whatever. I've said too much. We got work to do. I know that. And we got finals coming up and then Midlands. But thanks.
Thank you.